Have you ever wondered what it would be like to channel? Do you think maybe you channel every single day and you just don't realize it? Or have you tried to channel and you're questioning your own abilities? Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello, if you are new, my name is Andrea Johnson. I'm a Reiki Master Teacher, Energy Worker, Psychic Worker, and I help people develop out their psychic and energy work abilities and improve their lives. Welcome to another episode of what I like to call Conscious Coffee Talks, where I like to expand people's consciousness. So you guys are interested in learning how to channel. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys some beginner steps on what you can do to start channeling. I'm going to go over some mindset shifts that you need to make before you start channeling. And when I talk about channeling, I'm talking about channeling your spirit guides, connecting with your spirit guides in a way that you're setting an intention and then receiving a message within the body. So using basically your five senses or your psychic senses to pick up on a message. Now you can channel in other ways like automatic writing, but for the sake of this video, it's just going to be receiving messages through the body. Let's talk about what channeling first actually is. So channeling is basically serving as a bridge between this dimension and the vastness of the universe with whatever you want to connect to and bringing that energy in this existence, meaning channeling it in this existence through you, the body, right? Essentially, this is possible because everything in our universe is energy. Every single thing is energy. It vibrates at different frequencies. You yourself are energy. Your soul is electricity, and it's held together by your conscious thought. I think, therefore I am. So it is harnessed in this body, which is designed to basically spin your energy in this reality to have a human existence. Channeling is possible because everything is made up of energy and because of a theory that we call quantum entanglement. So basically what quantum entanglement tells us is that by setting our intention, we're able to connect with these beings, like our universes away, just like that. So the fact that we set the intention influences their energy, or the particles, basically, if you want to break it down with, atoms and electrons, it influences their energy as well too, and we connect. So you can kind of think of this as when you think of somebody and then 5 minutes later they call you. So basically they were thinking of calling you and you picked up on it through quantum entanglement. That is how channeling essentially works. So mindset shift number 2, you're already channeling. Yes. Even if you don't think it, you are channeling your soul here in this existence in 3D reality to have a human experience. You're channeling into this body already. You are your soul, not this body, right? The body's just the machine that distributes the energy that is you throughout it. So essentially, in reality, guys, this whole realm is part of the mind of God. Everything is the mind of God, just vibrating at different levels of frequency. And so therefore, there really is no separation between you and the spirit world or other universes away. It's all the same thing. It's all happening at one time. So you can think of it as this one big mind, and you're just conscious of it, like channeled into this little body, pretty much. And basically your conscious awareness is just what's going on around you, being focused basically in this little body. And when you expand your consciousness, then you're able to experience these other levels of reality, levels of frequency, dimensions of the universe, the mind of God. So don't think of this as something separate than you, because it's not. And that's what is tricky to most people, because they think they make it up, when in reality there is no making anything up, because this is all the mind of God. So mindset shift number 3. So channeling beings is no separate than what you are as a soul. Basically, they are souls without bodies. They're energy without bodies. You just have a body. And so therefore you vibrate at a different frequency because of this experience. This reality that we're in can only vibrate at a certain level of frequency, right? So there has to be almost like this game of meeting in the middle. You have to raise your vibration when you channel, and they have to kind of set the intention to lower it, or you have to meet somewhere in the middle. So that is how essentially they get to communicate with you, is when you slow your brainwaves down enough, when you expand your consciousness, when you're open to these ideas and it's actually introduced into your reality and you believe it, then it happens. And this all starts, guys, with your conscious expansion, your belief, and the power of your intention. The mind is that strong. You are basically God in a body. You have the mind of God, and that is the power of your intention. So whatever you set it to, that's what's going to happen. Most of the time people just don't believe, and so they change their intention, or their level of faith or belief doesn't match the intention. So you have to practice. So, which kind of brings me to my next point. Before we start, I always say this at the beginning of every single one of my psychic videos like this. You have to have 3 things. So you have to trust in the messages that you receive. You have to have surrender, meaning you have to let go of expectations of the messages, of what kind of messages you're going to receive, what your experience is going to be like. Because when you hold expectations, you hold resistance. Let the universe, or let, your spirit guide surprise you, because that's part of it. And then hold a state of love and gratitude, because when you hold a state of love and gratitude, that is the energy that is going to create your reality. That is how reality is created from the inside out. So that's the messages that you will receive. That's the type of spirit guide that will come through for you. If you hold a state of fear or something of that nature, then this won't work at all. You won't get anything. So the first thing that I would do, guys, and when I first started out, especially if you're a beginner, make a dedicated space for channeling. Now, this can be your altar, because this was where I first started channeling. I only channeled at my altar because it was a place that I felt safe. It was a place that I felt was sacred, which is very important. You want to bring in good energy, the love and the gratitude, right? And you also want to kind of establish this connection with your brain, that when you come back to this place, that it is where you channel. Because when you sit down and you kind of set the intention to channel, or just by like showing up and sitting down, your brain recognizes the environment, and it actually starts to revert back to the brain waves of like meditative states or of channeling, pretty much. So it kind of preps you without even the conscious thought of channeling. Your brain just automatically does it. And this is one of the cool things, but not so cool things about our brain, is it associates our surroundings with experiences. So if you understand this, you can actually build your environment to your advantage, really. That's why I pick my altar most of the times. Now that I'm, more experienced in it, I connect with them anywhere. But when I first started out, I made sure and always did it at my altar. I made it an actual special time where it was like something I look forward to, almost like an appointment, or I want to say a date. But I got excited about it. I was excited to go see and talk to my spirit guides, spend time with them, and just like escape human reality for a little bit. And just really, like, when you channel, it feels really good in the body. The beings are very high vibrational, and that energy can be very healing depending upon which one you want to work with. It's an event, and that's the way I feel like you should look at it. I know, like, if you get used to channeling, it can be almost like, okay, can we shut it off now? But no, it should be really looked at as a special thing, and especially in the beginning, because it can help you out quite a bit. So after you have established and set your space, because yes, setting the space too, if you need to cleanse, sage, crystals, whatever you want to use, set your space. But after that, you're going to want to calm the mind as much as possible to get into a meditative state. You can do some breathing exercises. If you're good at meditating, just get into a meditative state. You can stare at a candle flame, whatever you can do to really shut the thoughts off in your mind. And then that way you're better able to receive the messages from your spirit guide or whatever being you decide to channel. So the goal here is to clear away the lower level vibrations, or just kind of the crap that you've accumulated through the day, to be a clear channel to receive the spirit guide's energy, so you can actually feel it and actually separated out from your own. So if you do struggle to get into a meditative state, maybe try practicing that before connecting with the spirit guide. Or you can just try connecting with the spirit guide and have them help you get into a meditative state. But if this is one of your first times and you find that you're struggling, you can actually just do a guided spirit guide meditation. So people make spirit guide, and maybe I'll make one. I don't know. If you guys want me to make a guided spirit guide meditation, drop it in the comments. But basically, you can listen to them on YouTube, and they will introduce you to your spirit guide pretty much. So it kind of puts you in a meditative state and does it for you. So then once you get kind of like your brainwaves settled down, you're in a calm state, then you're gonna want to figure out what your intention is for connecting with your spirit guide. Maybe you don't know your spirit guide and you want to be introduced to them. Maybe that's just all you're after that day. Maybe you want clarity on a certain situation. Maybe you need help with something in your life. Set an intention for when you decide to connect with the spirit guide. Even if you don't know who it is yet, there's going to be a being that picks it up and comes into your field to help you with whatever it is that you need. That's what their job is. And in fact, you have a team of spirit guides already waiting for you to work with you if you don't already know it. So they're just waiting for you to reach out. So once you have your intention and you are in a relaxed meditative state, then set the intention, call it out, say it in your head, say it out loud if you would like. You can use the power of 3. You can, repeat the intention 3 times and ask that your spirit guide please step forward. If you don't know who they are, if you do know who they are and they have a name, call out their name 3 times. So there's a lot of different ways that you can set the intention. I know for me, when I first did it, I asked my spirit guide to step forward for whatever it was that I needed it for my highest benevolence in the moment. So I pretty much just let my higher self dictate what spirit guide needed to come in for me to help me with whatever was on the highest benevolence of my path at the time, if that makes sense. So I guess you could do it that way too, because your spirit, your higher self is going to bring you, light and love no matter what, because it always has your back. Another way that you can call in your spirit guide is setting the circle. So if there is a certain place in your mind that you like to go, like say maybe an imagination place, or if there's a place in nature or someplace that you've been before that you really enjoy, or that is very relaxing, you could imagine it, or you can just make up something right on the spot in your head to actually just go there and meet your spirit guide, and that's where they will show themselves to you and appear. And then that's where you meet every single time. And when you go to meditation, you go back to this place, and then they're there, and then you conversate there, or they show you whatever it is they need to show you, whether by images or symbols or whatever. So once you have basically set the intention to connect and called out their name, welcome them into your field or around your field if that kind of freaks you out, then you're going to want to pay attention to your body. You're going to want to bring your conscious awareness really close to your body and start paying attention to how you're thinking, how you're feeling, how your body's actually feeling. Your 5 senses are what spirit is going to use, or your spirit guide is going to use to communicate with you, because they pick up on electromagnetic signals. So think about it, guys. All your 5 senses are just electric signals being picked up by the body. That's it. And just whichever way that it wants to. So these spirit guides are electric, right? Because everything is energy. So it's going to decide which way, dependent upon how you can receive the information. Maybe you're skilled at clairvoyance, or maybe you're skilled at clairsentient, which is either seeing or feeling energy. They know how to communicate with you, and you may not even know how they know, or you may not even know yourself what your strong suit is until you start practicing. And this is how they're going to show up for you. So that is the most beautiful thing about this, is it's very effortless, and basically whatever happens, it was perfectly designed to happen that way. Even if you see like crazy dumb images, or there's been things that I've seen before of like a red balloon, or like stuff that just was so odd and off the wall that just did not make sense, and I'm like, is this a joke? But later on, I found out when I started working more and more with my spirit guides of what these symbols actually meant for me. And when you develop out your dictionary, or whatever you want to call it, with the universe, you'll be able to understand these symbols better. So that's how they're going to answer your question, is through one of your five senses or several of your five senses, or it can come in as thoughts or knowings. Knowings are just things that basically to be 100% true, and you just don't understand how you do know it, but you feel it in your heart, basically. This is why a lot of people think that they make it up, because that script going on in your head is saying stuff, or maybe it's not saying anything at all, but people think that they make it up and they're just talking to themselves, but ultimately that is the spirit guide talking to them. And this is why you have to pay attention really closely to how it's talking to you, because usually when you channel, you're going to get different tones of voice in your head. The language may start to kind of shift around a little bit. Or it's going to be of like a higher wisdom. I don't know how else to explain it other than the words and the feelings behind the words are of like this intelligence, pretty much. And you're like, wow, that did not come from me. Maybe that's just me. So if nothing's coming to you and you feel like, gosh, like, why isn't this working? Why can't I do it? Nothing's wrong. That whatever was supposed to happen your first time, even if a spirit guide didn't show up, even if one did and you couldn't get a message out of him, then that's okay too. But just rest assured that whatever was supposed to happen was meant to happen, and that's the way that it was meant to be either introduced to you, and it's just setting the stage for the next time that you do it again. So don't get discouraged, keep on trying. So my first time channeling, guys, I really thought I was making it up. It was all, I did a guided meditation in a class that I was taking, and the teacher guided us through meeting our spirit guide for the first time. And I was seeing it all in my head, like I was doing the imaginations that the teacher was saying. Now, I wasn't fully aware of psychic abilities and what really energy work was, or how imagination is communication, it's clairvoyance. So that was a little bit, I would say, like my lack of knowledge and understanding. But you understand that imagination, no matter what, doesn't have to be sitting down and going through a guided meditation. All imagination is channeled messages from other spiritual realms. So you realize that the things that you imagine, they're not wrong, they're real. They exist in other dimensions and realities. If you can think it, you can experience it, and most likely bring it here in this reality. That's what art is a lot of the times, with like imagination or really creative, like abstract things. I didn't realize this at the time, and I thought I was making it up the entire time, but until I came back from it and I felt different. I felt almost like this reality wasn't even real then. So it was a good experience, but I can totally relate. If you guys think that you're making it up, you're not. I have made other videos before on psychic abilities and explaining what they are, but everybody has these abilities, and it's a very normal human thing. And just like I was saying, imagination is an ability. You imagine it are basically visions being given to you. They're not really coming from you, guys. They're actually being like dropped in your body. They're streams of consciousness. So don't think that you're making it up. And then once I got better and started practicing and trusting myself and developing out my dictionary pretty much with the energy, I started to get better at doing it on my own, and then really channeling it from anywhere, because you get so used to these states of basically meditation or being able to slow your brainwaves down enough for messages to come through that you can do them from anywhere. And when you set the intention to channel, your brain is so familiar with that pathway already that it can get there like that. And you're so familiar with your being's vibration on who you're calling forth that you know when they step into your field, either when you channel them or even when you don't and they want to get your attention. So that's how this works. You just have to practice. You have to practice and you have to believe. You have to be open, like I said. So hopefully this gets you guys started. Hopefully this empowers you, gives you some confidence, sheds some light on channeling. So drop in the comments below if you want me to make a guided meditation to meet your spirit guides. I can do that for y'all. But you guys have just been so interested in this topic. But anyways, I'm sending you guys all of my light and all of my love. We'll see ya.